Showtime!
Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to your seats.
Showtime!
Please make your way to your seats. The show is about to begin.
Showtime!
Let the magic begin.
Adobe owns everything you create in Adobe. They watch and record everything you do. They have a right to it. And if they don't like, for whatever reason, what you do or how you do it, they'll take your software away from you. Adobe claims to have a license to everything you make and to use as they see fit. They can even sell it to someone else. Like this is crazy. You know, Adobe finds itself under fire for its recent spyware S terms of service update, which forces Photoshop and Substance 3D users to provide company unlimited access to their products.
Yeah.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mentioned this to you and you said you didn't know anything about it and you started researching it. What did you come up with in the last couple of minutes?
Yeah. Well, thanks to the power of AI, I got, instead of reading those 100-page EULA, I got AI to kind of identify some red flags. So here's some things straight out of the end user license agreement. They have broad rights to access, view, and listen to user content through their automated and manual methods. The users themselves grant Adobe an expansive license to use, reproduce, distribute, modify, publicly display, and translate user content. Disclaimer warranties are very broad. The other one that really stood out to me was, this is crazy, mandatory binding arbitration and class action waiver, which restricts users' abilities to resolve disputes in court. The right for Adobe to unilaterally modify terms without notice in some cases. And like you said, they can terminate user accounts and restrict access, and they can even sue you if you're using too old of a version of Adobe.
Yeah, and you have to agree to this. These terms or be locked out. You know, here are the highlighted terms from the EULA. We may access, view, or listen to your content defined in Section 4.1 through both automated and manual methods, but only in limited ways, using techniques such as machine learning in order to improve our services and software user experience. So they're planning on doing using, you know, like I said previously, I think just before I hit the live button, everybody is in such a rush to have the data to train their AI. This is the kind of crazy stuff they're doing. It's like, hey, we own everything you have. We're going to analyze it. We're going to give it to our AI. We may sublicense it out, whatever. We're going to take it all. And just trying to cover their butt. So it's not entirely true. It says we don't analyze content, processed or stored locally on your device, but apparently they do. To develop and improve our products and services, in that case, you may turn off content analysis at any time, but apparently that actually doesn't do what you think it does. Additionally, if you use features that rely on content analysis techniques, for example, content-aware fill in Photoshop, your content may still be analyzed when you use those features to improve that feature. So you must agree to be locked out. It applies to Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere, and everything else they make. Yeah. So this is definitely crazy, but you definitely want to go in and turn these off. The desktop app usage and the content analysis under account and security in your Adobe account to try and get as much of that as possible. And special shout out to Grums over there on Twitter, or who I follow. He's great. He's a Blizzard developer from uncovering all this stuff. You may not agree with everything policy-wise, but shout out to him for catching this and flagging it. Yeah, this is crazy. So if you're using Adobe, make sure you let them know that you're unhappy with this. Make sure you turn off those two things I showed you under account and privacy, desktop app usage, and content analysis. And be very wary. Like, they own everything you create. So if you're creating any content that you think you have a license to that might be valuable, they can do whatever they want with it. What are your thoughts on this, John?
Yeah, I think this could start to be their downfall, and I hope it is. The way that they've gone about things, and especially now, this is just crazy. I know that there are alternatives like Affinity, and I don't know if Affinity has the same EULAs, but I would recommend people to start exploring alternatives, but also look at the EULA. Look at the EULA for any other products that they're going to use. So there's alternatives like GIMP, Foxit, Nitro Pro for PDFs, and there's tons of different alternatives. But again, look at the ULA. It's crazy what they get away with. And I think it's funny. There was this South Park episode where, and I think it was the Apple end user agreement, where everyone read it except Cartman, and there was a whole bunch of things around it, and I guess people kind of forgot that because, again, here's another one that got kind of snuck in. So
yeah, I mean, this stuff keeps happening. I mean, this is on par with what we talked about last week. I think it was Microsoft's recall. And there's another feature where they're spying on you, everything you do, taking screenshots every 3 seconds.
Oh, and speaking of that, it's been hacked already. So
they claimed it was unhackable. They claimed it was this. You don't worry about it. No one can touch your data. And what happened?
It's hacked. Well, sorry. They found a way. I can't remember exactly. I just saw it briefly this morning. I didn't get a chance to read it yet, but maybe we can touch on it in another episode. But yeah.
Awesome. I just wanted to make everyone aware of this, just because it was top of mind and scary. Yeah. A lot of people in our industry use it, and we have to start looking for other tools to maybe start doing this job. We have to start sending companies a lesson when they start doing this stuff that they can't.
I'm curious to see what Canva's EULA is, because they're in the cloud and all that sort of stuff, and they're getting really popular. So
absolutely, and they're going head to head. If you've seen a bunch of their new features and tools, I think they're not Adobe level, but they're taking a lot of those higher end tools and bringing them to people like me who aren't Adobe level people.
Yeah.